Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sachat Parabrahmam, Tasmai Sri Guru Vedama, Sakana Vagadu, Sakana Naktu, Sakavidiam Karavavake, Tejas Pina Magidam Shavake, Om Shanti Shanti. Good morning to you. So just to have a quick recap, we have finished 10 sessions. And in the last session, we looked at the Shanti Pata as a sample to get into the proper Vedanta of Vedanta. Shanti Pata is an important etiquette in Vedanta Darshana, where before you recite or understand the Vedantic lesson, you pray using a Shanti Pata. And we chose a beautiful mantra from the Vedanata Upanishad called Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya. And we purposely gone through in a bit of a detail on this the last session to understand the literal meaning of it, verbatim, what is the meaning. And also we looked at the contextual meaning of it, because the context was in Upasana. In Vedanta, in Vedas, there's a Karma Kanta, there is a Upasana Kanta, and there's a Jnana Kanta. The Upasanas in Vedas are very different from, they're not exactly same as Upasanas that we do these days. Upasana of praying to a Sadhana Brahman, doing the pujas and artis, they're all Upasanas also. But Veda Upasanas are very different. There, it is all about the contemplating with a Parabrahman, using the Vedic deities like Agni, Varuna, Vayu, as the most reachable gross elements of the nature, and through which you contemplate your oneness with the universal consciousness. So Upasana is a very important part. And Brihadaranyaka Upanishads is taking from the Purva Kanta to the Vedanta, and therefore it explained the Veda Upasanas. And we saw that in Upasanas and Prana Upasanas. And in that context, we understood Asatoma Satgamaya means take me from the evil adharma to dharma. Give me the dharmic knowledge. By performing in a righteous way in life, my embodied life now, and the life hereinafter would be peaceful and blissful. What's the pramana for it? Shastra pramana. Pramana is from the Vedas. Therefore, there is no need to worry about questioning that authority of it. And therefore, to have a beautiful, happy life in this world, and the world hereinafter, the life hereinafter, one have to follow dharma. So that is what the contextual meaning of it. But as a Vedantic seekers and aspirants, we were looking at what is the end of this endless perpetuation of living an embodied life, here and hereinafter, this world and other worlds. Is there a way out of it? Or not literally out of it, but even if I live this life, I'm on top of it. Therefore, I have the control. I'm not afraid. I'm free. When the incarnation, when the great Shakti comes down on the earth and do an avataram, they don't come down because of the karma bandha, not because of the samskaras or vasana. It's a leela for them. Amba is called Leelavati. Everything is created and she plays. Why do we have to negate all this world and be one with the Brahman? I want to be part of this play. I want to enjoy it. Of course you can do it. That is also a moksha. But you are top of it. You are not bound by it. Therefore, for those seekers, the contextual meaning is not good enough. So we need to understand what is the Vedantic meaning for it. And of course, you must have prayojanam. If there is no use in it, there is no point investing time on it. So this is where we left in the last session. So now we take it from there. To take it from there, because we are talking here about the reality, the truth, therefore we must understand what the reality actually means. Now I want to warn you here because everything is a word, isn't it? So therefore, if you hold on to the word and you have your own meaning for it, there will never be a consensus or a convergence for it. So you must use the word as only a token to a knowledge, is it not? So today, if I call it a paper in English, it's called a kagidam in Tamil. It's a different word, same object. So we should not be entangled in the word, but engaged in the meaning of it. I'm warning this because the moment we come to this reality and we talk about these Vedantic concepts, because we are not coming with an empty mind, we also have knowledge, we learned, we studied, and we have opinions. Opinions matter. Therefore, the word will create a trigger in your mind to not accept or not contemplate in the right spirit. Therefore, just keep everything as a word's sake. So we need to really go through together. So you have to give your mind to me. So let's talk about the reality. And we only look at this in this mantra. There are three pairs of words: Asat, Sat, Tamas, Jyotir, and Mrityu and Amrita. We are not going to explain the whole thing in this session. The whole mantra can be just learned from the first line. So we focus on Sat and Asat. So we must have an inquiry, a Bhujya Vichara on this. So let us, again I say, I use the word Satyam, not I, as Vedanta use the word Satyam. Satyam means real existence. Keep in mind, word is not important. There is a state called real existence and it is called Satyam. Since I am told not to worry about the word Satyam, I worried about the understanding the real existence. What is real existence? Something we can clearly take out of our book. We don't need to study about it. Non-existence. Something that doesn't exist. What do you mean by not exist? Because I cannot see an evidence of its existence in all my pramanas, in all the pramanas, pratyaksha pramana, anumana pramana, vakya pramana. Any pramana you take, I can't find an evidence of it. And I don't have an experience of it. So Vedanta normally gives some examples. So a barren woman's son, they say, a lady who has no children, who cannot have child, and a son of that barren woman. Or a rabbit's horn, things like that. See, Vedanta uses Drishtantam or Upamanam as one of the pramanam, especially Advaita Vedanta. Some of the other schools don't take it. But you see, the Upamanam is example when is given, you should be very careful. It is given to contextualize something to be known. Like when I say, oh, he's like busy like a bee. What does it mean? It means he always travels, always does things. You can't go and look for a bee like a beak on him, no, right? Or a strong like a nail doesn't mean that he's got a sharp end in the bottom or something like that. So examples should be taken that way. But there is no drishtantam can be given, no evidence can be given, no experience can be given. Anything that is untruth, we call it asatyam, unreal, false. We don't need to worry about that. This is what I'm talking about Vedanta. Of course, you remember that I told you about Nyaya Vaisheshika, Asatyam, Abhavam is also a category. And non-existent exists. There's no cat in the room. Cat does not exist there. Kind of a word. Completely useless. We ignore that. So we should not be wasting our time and energy of studying non-existence or false things. So we ignore that. Quite simple. It's called Asat or Asatyam. Then this thing, existence. Everything will exist. Existence because there is an evidence of it. I see you, you see me, you pramanam. So therefore I exist in your consciousness. You exist in my consciousness. You hear, therefore there is a word that is there, the word exists. Sometimes it may not be an evidence, it could be an experience. Hunger exists in your experience of hunger, I can't feel it. It has got existence in you. So therefore, see, this is a very important point to understand, because when you look at the reality or existence of anything, the objective sciences look for evidence and experiments. Experiments based on objects, evidence based on objects. They completely ignore experience. Why? Because scientific community is worried that experience is very subjective, and when I bring experience into the picture, I can't prove. So science managed this for many centuries, and the quantum science came in, it threw the spanner. In a Copenhagen interpretation said that, look, when you come to the quantum particles, observation is an important part. Observation does have an impact on it. So it's called a theory of uncertainty. And many, even the famous Rishi, Albert Einstein, refused to accept it for many years. And before he died, he regretted that he made this mistake. So experience is therefore, so I'm saying this because some of us have got a very fashionable statement saying that, oh, this is all unscientific. It's all in Vedas. That is absolutely wrong. Veda is more scientific because it includes evidence, especially Vedanta. It takes evidence. Without evidence, you don't go further. But evidence is only partially complete. You need experience of it. But how can I share the experience between two different people? That's a vichara we should have. I'm not going to unknot every knot, but just keep the knot in your mind. So there is existence based on evidence and experience. Then I look at this world, I see so many things exist. My car exists, my house exists, my tree exists, I exist, so many things existing. But they are ceaselessly changing. See, we don't normally observe it. Nobody thinks that, no, I don't think I am aging unless I go and look myself in a mirror, or somebody tells me, instead of calling me brother or uncle, they call me grandfather. So things change. So imagine I'm looking at a stage, and there's a magician comes in there. He put a flower or put a rabbit. He does something. It becomes a child, and then it becomes a young boy. It becomes a young man. Then it gets married. It gets a child. It becomes old. It dies, and becomes a tiger. I see all that in the stage in a fraction of 5 minutes. What would you call that? An illusion, a magic. Why you say that? Because your time reference, your space reference, your context of observing cannot understand the changes happening in front of you. You experience it, you see it, is evidence there, but it does not correlate with your time span. But imagine somebody is watching me in a different time span, and I have grown, I come to this level of maturity. For them, it will be an illusion, a magic. So the ceaseless change means it is keep on dropping a temporal reality in every drop of points. Please be with me, because it's very important to understand. Change means it drops of temporal realities. If you look at the particle as a particle, It stays. When you look at the wave, it moves in physics. So when it is stay as one thing, at the moment it is in existence, but it is gone. But again, this comes in two ways. One comes in a mind. So you see that, okay, I dream. Okay, dream is a good example. I dream. It only in my mind. It goes away. Or I see something. I see a mirage in the thing. I think it's the water. Or I see the famous example in Vedanta. Yes, silver in a shell. But you realize it is not. At a moment, there's an existence of a silver in a shell, a mirage in the stream of earth, heat. You can't deny the existence because evidence, experience. So what I am trying to draw your attention now, when we finish this particular section, you should be 100%, at least 90% agree that the states are real, that there is a temporal existence. Existence is proven by the evidence and experience. But there are a few things which are not only my experience, in everybody's experience, we share this common experience. It is not that I see something there, but you also see it. Therefore, it is more than this empirical. There's an empirical existence there. It is better than what I have in a mental existence of something else. Again, this could be very different. For example, I take from a jar of sugar, I take some stuff and give it to you. And you eat it. You see it's sugar. And it is sweet. I give it to somebody else. Now, without he eating it, you see evidence of it. It's a thing, and you said it's sugar. And he says sugar. But when he eats it, suppose I put a salt instead of sugar to him, it looks the same. It's very different. His experience is teaching him very different thing. Same evidence, same white stuff coming from a similar jar. One person's experience is sugar. For me, it is salt. See that? Even in an empirical world, there is incompleteness of knowledge because it's very difficult to have the experience shared. But we come to this is the beauty of the human mind. We come to a common understanding. The understanding is leveled when we are young. In mathematics, 1 + 1 is 2. That is an axiom. You can't prove 1 + 1 is 2. It is given. Because it's just a word. This and this makes us a 2. You cannot prove it anymore. So we have such an assumption in our mind about words, that meaning, and therefore sweetness means this kind of feeling I must have in your mind is neurologically you map to that one. But it is still incomplete knowledge. But there's an existence for it. So in all along in our life, what we call real existence is the ceaseless changing. Why can't I call it real? Of course you can call it real. It's just a word. But any change can only be measured when there is something changeless, is it not? You know, in electricity, if you know DIY, if you're putting a plug point, the 3 wires will be there. A live, a neutral, and a ground. What does the ground does? Ground has no sine curve, it just goes flat. It is only given to measure the live, how much amplitude the current is flowing through. You cannot measure any change unless there is something changeless. But can I have an experiential evidence for it, or evidence of it? Yes, there's an evidence for it. I can't see this electricity ground anywhere. But the pramanam is a physics book. If you don't have it, just touch it, you will see it. So therefore, there's a pramanam comes in when your existence is, evidence is not clear, or experience is inadequate, then you need to choose a pramanam. And the inference pramanam tells me, because I'm seeing change, the change cannot happen without a changeless measurement, terms of reference is there. Therefore, there must be something eternally unchanging. We don't look into this because we are very busy with our changing life. Never ever think about what is that doesn't change. Changeless becomes boredom for us. Anyway, there is no change at all in life, we say. How strange it is. Changelessness is what is called Satyam in Vedanta. Again, it's a word. So therefore, eternal, unchanged part is called due to right knowledge. Now, what's the point of this? The point of this is by having this right knowledge, there is something eternal exists. Everything else, therefore, is ephemeral. You are able to handle your changes in life very peacefully. Because everything is changing, it will change. It is the law. Why should I cry for this? Why should I worry for it? Why should I feel my tooth is falling down, my legs are shaking, I'm not very healthy like 10 years before? It will happen. Accept it. There's no problem with this. But it hurts me. It hurts you because you think it is you that is changing. Because if you are able to see the changes, you can't be the change. So therefore, you or I should be that which is not changing. But it is not so, because I look gray now, my hairs are getting gray. But it is my hair, my body. When I say my, it is my object. It's not me. You see? So we haven't dwelled deep into this, but by knowing this, the benefit we get is we get the immortality, the last line of this verse. So all this ceaseless changes, the temporal reality. So at this stage, all of you should now come to a conclusion that yes, existence and need evidence and experience. There is a temporal existence in the mind. There is existence in the world, which right now Raja is saying as temporal, but I don't believe it. There's a reality. But there must be something changeless. Therefore, this three state is valid. And we need to put some words to it. We can't give the whole explanation every time. We need to put a tag to it. So what do we call all the temporal reality? We need a word for it. Because if you call the eternal unchanging one as Satyam, you must have another word for it. The moment the word was used, everybody jumped up and down. How can you say this word? But if you understand the state, word is just a nomination to this. Now, to go a little bit deeper, we need to understand. Do I have time? Yeah. Okay. So we need to understand some example. So let me say that you are in your house. It is pitch dark. So you open your door to the garden and look in the garden and you see a snake. You can very clearly see in the darkness there's a snake there. Immediately your heart pumps, sweats, fear. You are the seer. You are the pramatra. And what you saw is the object that is seen, prameyam. It's a snake. You can clearly see a snake there. Therefore, in your consciousness now, there is an existence, a reality, a satta. Satta means a reality. A snake is real. Is it not? So you jump, cry, shout, and then somebody comes, okay, take the torch and go and see. Now you go and put the torchlight on. After all, it is a rope. The gardener left the rope untied. You are still the same Pramada. You are the one seeing it. no change to that. But the pramana, the light that gives you this knowledge, enhances your understanding of the evidence. The pramana has to be better. The pramayam now, the snake has been negated, sublated. Snake doesn't exist anymore. So what is now the reality? The rope is the reality. Rope as a satta. So is the torch. So is everything that in this world you see. You see the difference? So the same 5 minutes before you saw the snake, it is giving experience for it, there's evidence for it, but it was in your mind. Snake wasn't there because when you bring the pramana of torch, snake has gone away. Therefore, in this fraction of this 10 minutes or 5 minutes, what happened? I've seen two realities. You see, life is about living every moment of it. You can't ignore that as something which is gone. But you've gone through it. Sometimes seeing a snake can give you a heart attack. Because life is anubhavadhara. Experience is life. So every existence, when it's experienced, should be analyzed. So the first reality, we call it pradibhashika satta. All these high-sounding words are very common sense. Pradibhashika satta means, it comes from the root, bhasa means to look like, similitude or something. Something that looks similar to something called bhasa. Prati means the front, in your mind. Pradibhashika, but you know that after seeing the torchlight, it was not a prama. You remember prama means validated knowledge. It's Brahma. Therefore, pradibhashika satta is illusionary thinking owing to Brahma or incorrect knowledge. You may see, I don't see this kind of a Brahma often, so I don't need to worry about pradibhashika. You'll be surprised. 70% of the time, we live in the pradibhashika world. It doesn't need to be a snake you are seeing. Like suppose I see you in a temple or something, and my mind was filled up something, and I didn't talk to you. Then you form an opinion. This person is very arrogant, proud person. It's a pradibhashikam because it is in your mind. Everything in the world we do, we live in a pradibhashikam. That is the problem. So how do we therefore remove the pradibhashikam? You need a torch. When you have a torch, you have vyavagarika satya. It's called a vyavagarika satta. We say in Tamil, vyavagaram. Vyavagarika means transactional one. To act business-like, to carry on, to hold on to. So anything that we do in this world is vyavagarika satta. We are in the vyavagarika satta, empirical reality. We share common experiences. In this experience, when you live, when you look back onto if you have a dream last night, it's a pradibhashikam. But when I come into the dream and say, Balaji, this is a dream, this is not real, you will not agree to me. Because it is real to you. Because you are in the pradibhashika satta, you yourself are. I hope it is clear. So therefore, the first step in our life, because we have to find the meaningful and usefulness for it, it should not be a very academic exercise for it. So the pradibhashika satta is, understand, it's a temporal existence due to Brahma. This is no good. It has no prayojana. You know, if you see the mirage of water, what's the prayojana of it? There's no use in your vyavaharika life. There's an impact is there. So there are two definitions the scholars have given. One is that the pradibhashika satta is one which can be negated by the perceiver yourself. It cannot exist. When you say that, look, you saw the snake, now you say the snake is not there. You are not gone away. You are still there. The snake has gone away, which is very good, very useful news. Therefore, we are able to clear off all our brahmas without having impact to us. And also, to clear them, we are very confident there is no prayojanam. See, you might have had a fantastic dinner and go to sleep. In the sleep, you may be hungry. Whatever you ate is not going to help you. Prayojana nasti. So therefore, it is very important that we must realize in life, when you see an evidence of something, an existence of something, am I using the right pramana? Is it Brahman or Praman? Am I in a pratipasika? Many sufferings in our life is because we treat others we are living in an empirical world, in a Vivekarica world, but our mind is thinking in a pratipasika. You don't see fact as a fact. See things black and white. They say matter of fact. No, we don't say matter of fact. We use a filter of our mind, and pratibhasikam comes in. Compared to that, the Vyavakarika is an empirical existence, the right perception. What's the difference in the Vyavakarika reality, in the empirical world? Whatever you see, I can't negate it unless I negate myself. So I have a car outside my door. I don't see the car now. I go inside. Is the car gone away? No. It's still there. So whatever is my consciousness, which is an empirical world, I can remove them only when I remove myself, when I die, or when I go to deep sleep. When I go to deep sleep, what happened? I don't have anything in my mind. My mind is gone. This is something very subtle. We will discuss it in a great detail later. So simply understand, in this world, you simply cannot negate an empirical reality just because you wanted to leave them as if non-existent. If you understand this, people understand when Shankara calls it the world as illusion, not real. Is that not saying that you can negate it? No. It exists. Most important, there is a prayojanam. You can get usefulness, utility for embodied life only in empirical world. I can't eat 5-course meal in my dream. I can't imagine getting a Nobel Prize in my dream. I need to work for it. I need to get it. Prayojanam asti in Vivekarica world. Everything. So in the embodied life, if you need to make something to enjoy, you must accept existence of reality in this world. But I told an example of it. Example of somebody seeing the magic of a child becoming a rabbit to a child, to the man, to old age, to death, to a tiger, which is the illusion of it. But if the magician say, look, this is not illusion, this is the travel of a jiva from different birth to birth, and you will go through it. And we know there is a Veda Pramanam. Maybe I am also going through this. Therefore, this empirical reality that I have at this present is real because I am looking at this particle of the point, not as a wave. I'll become, maybe I'm somebody's bad dream. How do I know that I'm actually existing now? I may be actually in somebody's dream. But before we go to the third step, we should understand the differences between these two. Pratibhasika has no basis, but it has to be on the Vivekarica. Unless dreams don't come just like that. Dreams come because you have thoughts. You might have seen a donkey, and you must have seen a monkey, maybe a cow. In the dream, you might see a person with a horn and a tail. It all get mixed up. Every pratibhasikam is your earlier thoughts coming back in a different way. Therefore, it is resting on Vyavakarika. It's very important to understand, for existing of something, there must be a cause, The cause for pratibhasikam is vyavakarikam. Therefore, pratibhasikam, like the rope is giving a basis for the snake, the silver for the shell, there is what's called adhyasa. Something is sitting on something else. Your mind perceives that. This is a Brahma. There another important difference. The pratibhasika, you can only see of known subjects. In the rope, you can see a snake only. You can't see any other animal which you do not know. Can you? It doesn't make sense, isn't it? In the dream, you cannot see something which you do not know. Pratibhasikam is only about known things, but superimposed on something incorrectly. If snake is known, it is imposed on a rope. I know jealous and greed, somehow I impose it on some person's character. That's how I think that person is a very jealous, greedy person. I'm back on my opinion. So I know this, the person may not be very noble. I know about what is jealousy is. I am jealous. So I take this one, superimpose on somebody else. But compared to that, the Vyavakarika Satta, empirical reality, has got both Jnana Vastu and Ajnata Vastu. Ajnata Vastu means things that you do not know. You do not know Mars exists, do you? No, you know Mars exists. But you know because somebody said so. You take as a pramanam. It is unknown, Ajnata Vastu, not known yet. In simple to understand, Pratibhasikam is wrongful thinking based on known objects and known things. Vyavakarikam is not a complete knowledge about things, but you have experience of both things known and things unknown. It's great insight. Just think a minute on it. In the world, we take existence of many things which are not known. Do you know God exists? You say yes. Is it God is a known object? No. No, I don't know. But I take a pramana. So many things in Vyavakarika world, we have to accept known objects and unknown objects. I already talked about that. In this world, we are on the Pratibhasikam. So the one benefit we should take from today's class is that in every understanding of existence around me, because we are living in Vyavakarikam, our whole life is about this empirical reality. Therefore, this is important for us. From here, we are going to look back onto Pratibhasikam and something else in the future. Therefore, to live this life happily, I know about the Pratibhasikam, which is useless, prayojanam nasti. I will remove it. I will see things as they are, factually. To do that, I must keep my pramana clean. I need a starch. I need satsang. I need the gurus. I need the books. I need the knowledge. Okay, that means, is this empirical world the ultimate truth? No, says the Vedanta. Therefore, the first step is to be removing Pratibhasikam and living in Vyavakarikam in an empirical world with right knowledge. The final step is to be one with the absolute reality. What is this? I'm going to be very brief only here. The Vedanta tells you in the Vyavakarika Satta, in the empirical world, when you have the Brahmajnana, don't know what is Brahmajnana is, but when you get the Brahmajnana, where do I get that from? I get from the Vedanta Pramana. Veda Pramana, Vedanta Pramana. If I do that, like the rope is deleted, I can delete this entire world. Like that, you don't see the rope anymore. But it doesn't correlate to the brain. How can it be? The very definition of Vivekarism is that you can't negate it when you are around. Vivekara kale abhatmana. I cannot really negate the world when I live. Only when I die, my consciousness goes away, nothing else, or when I go to deep sleep. Therefore, how can I negate this world when I exist? This question has really challenged even many Vedanta followers in very different schools. Therefore, they are afraid to go that step to negate the potential negation of this empirical world. Negation means not making it as not reality, but knowing it as ephemeral and not eternal. And therefore, it has no use to me. Therefore, how can I grammatically, because I go, how can I negate myself? Here comes the important point. The I that you need to negate is not the I that I see, that I, this body, this mind, this jiva abhimana, but my jiva bodha, my atma bodha, the true I am. If I know the true I am, the I that I am, talking here with arrogance, with abhimana and ahankara, will be gone. With that I goes away, the formula fits very well, empirical reality will go away. So for that jnani, won't I look like what I am? Don't the car look like a car? The tree looks like a tree? It will all look like a look, yes. But he will look at it as magic, as an illusion. Now this is what Shankara says, this illusion. He used the word called mithya for the empirical reality. Even many scholars argued this for many good reasons. We will not go into this one. It's only a name. We know the existence exists as an empirical reality. It is ever changing. Therefore, you need to give a name. I want to give a name Mithya. You want to give a name Satya? Go ahead and do it. You can give any name you want to. But name is just a placeholder. Therefore, this Satya, which is absolutely not changing, is called Paramarthika Satya. The Paramarthika Satya is that supreme, Param, supreme reality. The highest one. When you are in the Paramarthika Satya, this is not just a learning, it is being there. So none of us are there yet. If you are there in the Paramarthika world, Brahmam Satyam. Here Satya means Brahman is eternal. Jagan Mithya. Jagan means empirical reality. It's always changing. It is not gone away. It's not that the jnani would not see the world. The jnani would see through the world. Jnani would see beyond the world. Jnani would be able to handle the world. What a power it is. Who cares about the words? If I'm able to handle everything so well, I become, when I do action, I become an akarta as a karta. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, akarma, karma. The slokam is very paradoxical language. And as we go further and further, you will see very mystical language to understand. Karma in karma. The jnani will still see that. That's why Shankara, Ramanuja, Krishna, everybody was there. They see the world as an empirical world. And they disappear from the world. Because it's empirical. Krishna cannot, even God comes today, Shiva comes today, he can't live forever. He will go. That's the definition of, his definition of Vivekari. Because any form is mithya. So, in summary, Pratibhasika has no basis. It is superimposed on Vyavakarika. We are the masters. We are the creators. We are the Brahma of creating the Pratibhasika world. We are the power to destroy. We are the Vishnu. We sustain the Pratibhasikam. We are the Rudra. We can destroy it. Therefore, recommendation is destroy the Pratibhasika. The Vyavakarika, so for the righteous life, we deal with dharma. But for the liberated life, there are two lives now. we are going to go. A righteous life gives us peace. Therefore, we take the contextual meaning. Dharma is what I want. I'll be happy. Therefore, Pratipāsikam is not there. There's a Vedanta's value to that. Now, if you want to liberate a life, start treating even the Vyavaharika as potential unreality. That's the reason we say Asatoma, Satgamaya. See, he didn't want us to take straight to the Sat, Asatoma, Satgamaya. Let me travel through from Asat to Sat. How do you travel through? You have to travel through the embodied life. You need to live with this Vyavaharika. The Vyavaharika, therefore, again, it's very taboo when I say this. As Shankara said, Sat Asat. The empirical world is Sat because I can see it. It's Asat because it's not there forever. This Asat is not the Asatyam. The Asat is not existing the next moment. So Sadasat here means it is like existing but not existing. How can I define this? Therefore he says, don't worry about definition. Take it as Anirvachini. It is undefinable. It is no difference to what the quantum physicists say, uncertainty principle. How can it define? The definition will change. So it is not the lack of capacity of Shankara to define this. It's not a lack of understanding of the scholars. It is the state of understanding because it is undefinable. How can you define yourself? When I ask you, can you define? So you can say, Raj can say, I am Raj. Okay, Raj, I don't want your name. Define yourself. Oh, I am the one helping in the Mitra Seva. No. I don't want your action. Define yourself. You be dumbbounded. So I am, so you are. Everything is anirvachiniyam. You cannot define them. So therefore, by saying the world is anirvachiniyam, impossible to define, he is not making it lowest of the lower. He makes the highest of the higher. That is the power of this mantra. But to have this such said, just 5 minutes to close it, so that we can move to the next session fresh. This mantra, when you recite now, Asatoma, Satgamaya, we only saw the first line so far. I'm not going to go to the second and third line, so don't be worried. Don't worry about that. But what it means is that to have all these things have given me something. Now to really capture this and practice it, I need the knowledge. The knowledge is the second line. I know this one, but I don't know the knowledge to acquire. I am in darkness. Tamas, make me to the Jyoti, give me the light. So what knowledge, why this knowledge? Again, if you take an explanation, you may take another 4 classes, which I'm not going to do. And if you do that, then you get into the immortality. Again, it will take another 4 classes. So, but in the essence of this mantra, therefore, in the Vedantic perspective, is that may I be, please watch my word here, watch the words of the Vedanta, not may I become. And I become a Vyavaharika, because that is changing. I am unchanging. There is nothing becoming. So everything in the world we do to become. I want to become a doctor. I want to become so-and-so. I want to become a CEO. You become. You can't become. But when are you going to be yourself? So this mantra says, may I be the Sat. May I be the Chit, knowledge. If I do that one, may I be Anantam, deathless immortality. When I am immortal, when I am the knowledge, when I am everything, I am always blissful, I am Anandam. Therefore, may I be the Satchidanandam. But Satchidanandam is God, Shivam, Vishnu, Paramatma. How can this mantra ask, may I become the Paramatma? How dare I ask you that one? I can only be a dasan to the Swami. I want to be the Swami. Can I be? Vedanta says, yes, you can be. Because you are. That's where I think Vedanta takes you. Vedanta puts you in the superlative form. No other scriptures, no other grantha, no other tattvas makes you so high, so noble. Which theology, which dogmatic religion tells you that you are the God? Even Vedas, Vedanta only tells you that one. It's not a flattery, it's a truth. That's what Vedanta is taking through. Sorry, I took a little bit more time than what is needed. I want to bring it to a formal close so that we can take something new. So I complete this Shanti part with this. It is just a glimpse of letting you know the depth of Vedanta. So we will know most of it in a very simple terms in subsequent classes. So let me close it here. Thank you.
So we'll appropriately we will close it with the same. Om Asatoma Satgamaya.
Om
Asatoma Satgamaya.
Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityoma Amritangamaya.
Amardam Gamaya.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om
Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you everybody who attended.